If you remember back in May, I did an impressions video on an upcoming isometric twin-stick action shooter called Kill Knight. It is developed by Playside Studios, who are Australia's largest video game developer, and it is finally released just in time to kick off the spooky October season. I'll link my impressions video down below if you want to check it out, but let's get straight into the action because trust me, there's a lot of it. Before we start, some of this gameplay was captured on Twitch, so if you do want to join in on the conversation, please follow me on Twitch in the links below, because I'll be streaming some more of this game over the next couple of days. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube so you don't miss my upcoming videos. Kill Knight for me is really a lamb in wolf's clothing. Initially, it appears to be a complete chaotic mess of violence, frantic dodging, and stringing together a series of deadly combos. And in truth, yes, it is all those things. But when you actually sit down to play this game, you realize that there are actually a series of really clever and elegant mechanics which tie into that trope of being a game for the artist rather than the butcher. There is quite a bit to understand, and before you go into your first bout in the void, I strongly recommend you plug in a controller if you have one, because you'll find the controls much more intuitive, and boot up the tutorials, which will give you a breakdown on how the combat in this game works. Your primary weapons are dual-wielding pistols, which will be your main source of taking down enemies. Reloading the pistols at the correct time will give them an overdrive effect, such as an increased fire rate or bullet penetration, depending on which pistols you are using. You also have a heavy weapon, such as a heavy rifle or shotgun, which is great for clearing out larger hordes of more powerful enemies. This does not have infinite ammo, however, so you need to pick up ammunition from enemies, but they will only drop the heavy ammo if you slay them with your melee weapon. Again, you want to trigger this during the reload window of your pistols for maximum efficiency, and if you need health, you can use a Wraith Blast from your heavy weapon to get enemies to drop health gems. Whilst you are killing enemies, they will drop red blood gems, which when picked up will improve your red kill meter, which improves your damage output. But you can also absorb them to fill up your Wraith meter instead, so you can get off that Wraith Blast for those health drops. Now, that all sounds extremely complicated, and the truth is there is a lot to manage and get your head around, especially at the start. You'll also have a whole bunch of meters and elements on the HUD to give you this info, but because the action is so intense, you won't have time to glance at the edge of your screen, as the consequences can be pretty harsh if you break concentration. But once you put a couple runs together, the real magic of Kill Knight comes alive, because you start to enter that gradual flow state and rhythm of balancing all these elements and dispensing the right manner of violence to suit whatever your needs are in that particular moment. Once some stronger enemies appeared on screen, I swiftly used my heavy weapon to take them down, then I immediately turned to using my sword to making sure that heavy ammo was replenished for when I would need it next. Throw in some strong varieties of enemies with difficult environment elements such as spikes and laser beams, and you can very quickly see how demanding this game can be. Each level has a preset of layers to clear, and the objective is to complete the level with the highest score. Achieving certain combos and kill chains will help you get that score higher through a series of multipliers, and playing on harder difficulties with a strong clear time will also see you rise up the ranks on those leaderboards. I absolutely loved this game, and I straight away became addicted. I bumped the difficulty up as high as I could, but there are some easier options if you want a slightly more casual experience, but don't kid yourself, because this game is difficult and will require your full attention. You can unlock extra weapons and equipment by completing challenges and clearing levels, but if you are struggling, you can purchase them using an in-game currency, which is earned quite slowly over time. So this game really does encourage you to push yourself to the maximum in order to unlock all those weapons to kit out your knight. I see a lot of early commentary describing this game as a cross Hades meets Doom kind of experience, and I have to say I think that is a fairly accurate explanation of this game. It will take most players a bit of time to complete all the levels, but once you finally get strong enough where you can confidently clear the level, you'll then begin to chase those scores and see how far you can push yourself. I've sung high praise for this game, and in reality, I only have two main recommendations to the developers. I love the art style, but I do think the font is a little difficult to read at times. If there is a way to increase legibility without sacrificing the artistic style in those menus, I think that would be beneficial. Also, I think some greater clarification around some of the items and how they would work would be helpful. For instance, the item here reduces the dodge cooldown, but I'd love to see some extra numbers here to indicate how much improvement that actually is. There are some items, particularly the weapons, which have some better indication on what their in-game performance is, but if this could be extended to some other items, I think that would be great. Kill Knight is available on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, as well as Xbox One. It is also available on Nintendo Switch, and the footage you've been watching was captured on PC. I will mention I didn't run into any technical problems or hiccups during my playthroughs, so full credit to PlaySide for making a fairly well-rounded and complete product. This game is only $15 in the US, and for my Australian audiences, it will set you back just over 20 bucks. However, there is a 10% discount during the launch week. I really do think Kill Knight is the steal of the year, and I can see plenty of streamers and fellow content creators pushing each other to find the best and most optimal way to clear stages, and honestly, I'm really excited to see what those fully developed strategies will be. On the leaderboards, you can even see what equipment people have used during their runs, which I think is a really nice touch, and that gameplay loop of having to reload those pistols or initiate those triggers at a particular time was really satisfying. So I personally will be playing this a bit more over the next few days, so feel free to join me on Twitch via the link below. All in all, I strongly recommend Kill Knight, and I encourage you to challenge yourself and see how far you can get in some of these really well-designed levels. Alrighty. Better score! Better score! So I really wasn't talking there because I was concentrating, because I wasn't going to be able to go to bed happy until I got a better score than what I did. Because I want to see where I am on this leaderboard. 64! That brings us to the end of this review, so if you liked the video, please leave a like, and also comment to share your thoughts below on Kill Knight. Let me know if you are playing this game or if the video was helpful in any way, and if you want to see more content, then check out this playlist on the right of screen for more of my reviews and first impressions. Or you can roll the dice with this video on the left, which YouTube thinks you might like. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Lancy out.